Hi everyone, thanks for joining us, the S.E.E.K Science Club, and I am here today to talk about displacement. Yay! So, we are going to go over what displacement means, and I want you to follow along, so let's get started. You are going to need all of your materials, which are pebbles, as you can see. I put it in a beaker. It doesn't need to be in a beaker, it can be in a cup. It can be a glass or a jar of water, empty cup, and I also have one that's labeled because you only really need 1 cup. Pennies, I said 15 to 30 pennies or as many as you like. A Sharpie, a ruler, some rocks, and a plate. Doesn't have to be this kind of plate, any kind of plate, just in case if you make a spill. All right, so those are all the materials that you need, and now we are going to get started. Step 1. First, we are going to take a clear container and we are going to measure it, because when you're doing displacement, you would normally use a graduated cylinder that has the milliliters for the unit to measure the displacement of the water. Once you measure the cup, you are going to use inches because we're doing this from home. That's why we are using a cup. You are going to measure your clear cup from the bottom, starting with the number 0 to how many inches you can get to the top. Now for step 2, drum roll! We are going to add 2 inches of water. Again, remember, normally you would do this with a graduated cylinder, but we do not have a graduated cylinder because we're doing this from home. And if you do, go ahead and use it. And once you do that, you are going to pour your pennies inside of the 2 inches of water. Now, in science class, when you're in a classroom, you will look using a graduated cylinder. You will do this eye level, and you will look for something called the meniscus. But who knows about a meniscus? But we're not gonna do that today because we're not using a graduated cylinder. We're just doing science in the kitchen from home. So if you notice, the water increased just a little bit. I want to see how much it increased from 2 inches, so I am going to measure it. 2.6. So 2.6. So how much water was displaced? 0.6 water was displaced. So we learned that once you put an object in liquid, it's going to displace the liquid from its original place. And with the pennies, it was displaced by 0.6. How did I come up with 0.6? I took my original measurement, which was 2 inches, prior to actually dropping the pennies in the cup of water. And then once I dropped the pennies in the cup of water, I subtracted the difference after the water rise to the top. So the difference was 0.6 because it went from 2 inches up to 2.6 inches. Okay, good. All right, we are back again. I have added the cup to the original units that we started with 2 inches. Again, please keep in mind, in real life, you would normally use a graduated cylinder, but we're using items around the house. And this time I'm gonna pour my marbles in the inside of this water, and then we will do the same thing that we did for step 1 with the pennies. Our unit is 2.9. And what do we have to do? Remember, we started at 2 inches and we went to 2.9, so we have to do it. Yay! Subtract. So So once we subtract the difference from 2 inches to 2.9, that will give us 0.9 inches. And please keep in mind, we're using inches because we're using this ruler, and normally you would use, you got it, a graduated cylinder with the units of milliliters. But we just want you to understand displacement. So how much liquid was displaced once I added the marbles? I'll wait. You got it, 0.9. That is the displacement of the water that was misplaced because we added something into it. Now we are back. We tried pennies, we also used marbles, and now we are going to use rocks. You know, solid paper, scissors, rock, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's use rocks. It is 2.11 inches. How do we find the displacement? We are going to subtract. We are going to subtract 2 inches from 2.11, and that will leave us with 0.11 inches of displaced water. But remember, because I am going to keep reminding you, are we really using inches for milliliters? No, we are using the unit milliliters for liquid. This is water, okay? And you will use what tool? Graduated cylinder. You got it. I knew you didn't need me to tell you the third time. There you have it, displacement. Hopefully you learned today that displacement is when an object or liquid is misplaced from its original spot. That's the easiest way I can explain it. And we did the examples using pennies, marbles, and of course, rocks. Now, once you're done with these rocks, make sure you put them back where you got them from, and do not throw them at the neighbors, the dogs, or, you know, just put them back where you got them from. Thank you for joining us, and I am so happy that you were able to learn what displacement is, and we'll see you for the next video when we talk about buoyancy. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you will see all our other social media outlets at the end of this video. Bye! See you later!